And within a couple of months, I moved roles, and then within a short couple of years, I ended up owning the company. So that's really how Trident.
You make it sound so. You just ended up owning it. Good evening, Australia. Welcome to the show. I'm Michael Kuzilny, and thank you very much for watching all these years. Thank you very much for all your emails over the last 12 months. It's been a difficult time, and things are getting much better, aren't they? If you're going through a difficult issue at the moment, God bless you. Things will get much better. We've had some very, very interesting guests on the couch over the last few years, but tonight we've got a very, very exceptional, classy and elegant lady, Katie Bentley. Katie is the CEO of Trident, a major company, and she will explain about the company. She also is a mother, a terrific mother, and does a lot of great work in the community. But she's a really terrific person, an excellent and first-class professional. And Katie, thank you so much. What a beautiful morning it's been for you.
Saturday morning's always a great morning, isn't it? You've finished the week. You know, I always like to go for a run on Saturday morning. You get to kind of cuddle the kids in bed, go for your run, do all the things. It sets you up for the rest of the week. So it has been a good day. I've had a really nice run. Had a swim in the bay.
You are so humble. A nice run. She did half a marathon this morning.
Yeah, I do it very slowly, and there are a few walking breaks. So I don't think there weren't many people chasing me this morning. But I'm always just grateful to be able to do that, to be honest, and especially in the suburb that we live, running along the beach, being able to jump in the water afterwards. This morning I was in the water with so many people that were in their 70s and 80s.
Oh, you were in the water as well?
Yeah. So
you ran and then you went for a swim?
Well, I'm what they call a teabagger, so I just kind of dip in and out a few times. And the only way I get the courage to do that is to run first, heat my body up and then jump in. But these men and women, they go in every morning, winter and summer, and swim 1 or 2 kilometres. They're quite incredible. And even the men in their 80s, they are so fit looking. But there's something about their personalities and the aura about them. And people always tease me because I call the bay a magical pool. If you've got a sore arm, go and jump in the bay. A bit of a mosquito bite, jump in the bay. There's something about the salt water. And I think it's, I was reading the other day, there's something about the beach and having bare feet on the sand and being in the water that reconnects you with nature.
It's beautiful. And Katie, we've got so much to share, but such limited time. You're very a very special person, and I've spoken to Katie in length about her life. You became a CEO of a large IT company. I don't know much about IT except turning the computer on. Tell me about that journey.
Well, I did a media degree at school, and I was a single mum. I had a baby when I was 22, and I worked at the Dandy Deli in Brighton as a waitress, to pay my way through university. And after I was just at the end of my media degree, and I was just about to start my law degree, because I specialised in feminist film theorists in media. And there really weren't many jobs. In those days, you used to look in the Age. There was no internet. There really were no jobs for that right then. And I had a child to look after, so I needed some cash. And so 3 men used to come into the Dandy Deli all the time. I knew their coffees, and I actually quite liked working there, to be honest. Sometimes where you work, it's a choice, whether you like it or not. Sometimes you just have to, like lemons, not lemonade. And they talked to me about what I was doing, and they said, well, this thing called the internet's about to hit, and this was 25 years ago. Would you like, given you've done media, would you like to come and work part-time for us designing what I thought was called wet pages? And I thought, okay, well, it sounds better than serving coffee, So I went to work for them part-time. This was at Trident. And within a couple of months, I moved roles, and then within a short couple of years, I ended up owning the company. So that's really how Trident
You make it sound so... you just ended up owning it. A lot of discipline, a lot of hard work. I mean, this is amazing. She's a single mother, and you've got a beautiful... you've got more children. How many children have you got?
Children.
It's amazing, and you're certainly you've got a great formula on work-life balance, haven't you? What is that formula?
I heard a girlfriend, our girlfriend Patricia, who's been on this show before, told me a couple of years ago about a tombstone methodology, and it was something she learned from a psychologist. So basically, you think about what you want on your tombstone. And when you go to people's funerals, even if the funerals of people that you don't know, you're always fascinated by their story, and I've always wondered, what are people going to say about me? I don't really want them saying I have a good work ethic. It's an element of my personality, but there's things that I want to be remembered by, and more importantly, there's things that you want to live by. So you choose what you want on your tombstone. So my choices are, she respected her children's feelings, which sounds a little bit harsh because a lot of people say she was a loving mother, but I think sometimes it's very easy to love your children, but it's much more difficult to respect their feelings. I need them to feel that they are being heard when they're with me.
It's beautiful.
She was an advocate for those who needed it. She gave her staff a chance, and she was joyful. So that's what I would like on mine.
Isn't that amazing? Like, and Katie's so right, isn't it? If you think about those 4 factors every single day, I really believe what we think about expands. We think about negative stuff, we think about the problems in our life, and guess what turns up? But when we think about, the end of the life journey, that's a really great thing to... And you think about this, it's something that's in your subconscious mind every single day.
Yeah, what I try and do, and this is part of this whole process, and this makes me sound like I'm all zen and everything's beautiful. It's not. I screw up all the time, but I feel that this tombstone methodology is a way that I can get back to the spot that I need to be, even when I'm, spiralling into or being triggered by things that I shouldn't be triggered by. So I screw up all the time, okay? But what the aim is that you think about one of the elements on your tombstone all week with whatever you do. So this morning it was, so when I run, I think about one thing. So this morning I was thinking about, she was an advocate for those who needed it. And I thought, wow, I haven't really done much real advocacy over the COVID period. I've concentrated inward and I really haven't looked outward. And I'm not sure if many of us have. We've all kind of said, we all need to help each other as a community and all that, but we've all probably looked inward to our own families, that's an appropriate thing to do, but it's maybe... Amazing.
After the break, Katie, let's talk about some of the challenges you went through and how you got on top of them, and also all that wonderful work you're doing helping other people in the community. We'll be back very shortly. Don't go away. Welcome back. We've got the great lady Katie Bentley on the couch. What an amazing woman. This lady really inspires me, and not many people inspire me. I've been around this life journey for quite some time. I'm 56 now, turned 56 a few days ago, but not many people inspire me, so it's hard for me to find friends. But, I always think there's so many people now suffering from anxiety, depression. Unfortunately, suicide rates are skyrocketing, and mental health workers, psychologists are cleaning up. I always find the most successful people in life are very good at getting on top of crisis. It's not that they haven't got any problems. We all share the same problems. No one's exempt, but Katie's very good at getting on top of crisis. And you would have seen so much crisis in business, in your personal life, in just, what's the secret?
I'm laughing. I've done so much crisis management, both externally and internally, over the last 51 years. I wouldn't know where to start. I think a really good philosophy is a glass half full, and it's very simple. Really good story is that I lost my father from leukemia when he was 64, and he was going into the hospital for what he thought was going to be the cure. We were going to get the cure. And turns out that it wasn't going to be the cure, and so he was told, you've got 4 weeks to live. And Mum and Dad were driving home, obviously in shock because they were going there with so much joy. And there was a car behind them tooting them just to tell them to hurry up. And that really taught me something. It taught me something about road rage. You never know what that person in the car in front of you is going through. You know, if the shopkeeper is, a little bit aggro with you, you actually don't know what she's come from or potentially what she's going to. So that realisation that your problems are really only part of the puzzle, they're going to pass. And I think it was in one of Shakespeare's plays that he said, "This too shall pass." And sometimes this makes me sound again very calm. And if the kids told you what I was like last night, then you would know that it's not always like this. But I think that if we can actually really recognise that if we just wake up and try and get on with it, that's not though to discount mental illness. That's not something that we should say, go for a run, have a shower, it's all going to fix it. Society, I think, is starting to stop doing that. That's totally different. But I'm just talking about everyday life and getting on with it. And no one really wants to be around someone that's telling the story of their pain all the time. There's moments. So sometimes you just have to put your lipstick on. I'm 51 years old. I'm always going to wear my best undies. I'm always going to wear my best clothes and get out,
Yeah, get up and go. And that's so true, folks, isn't it? Anything can happen to anyone, anything can happen to anyone. In fact, when I was on the police force, I gave so many death messages and none of those people who passed away knew that it was going to be their last day on the planet. So Katie's quite right, it all passes. It's all impermanent, and including life. I was thinking 240 months from right now, we'll be 20 years older, and 100 years from now, we'll all be gone, even those beautiful little babies we all know. So it is all impermanent, isn't it? And I see life every day as a mini life. But that's amazing. That's a great attitude. So you don't dwell on the challenges. You just think, shit happens. This is the way it is. Move on with it.
Sometimes you just have to make a decision. It may not always be the best one. Probably one thing that I haven't done correctly in a lot of my life is I've made some decisions much too quickly, particularly in business. And I'm lucky that my business was purchased by Spirit Technologies on Valentine's Day, actually. I bought myself a bunch of roses and received the cheque and thought that was probably the best Valentine's Day present I've ever got. And I've been lucky enough to work with an executive who have really coached me on slowing down my decisions, all my life. And I think I've really done things quickly. And that has enabled me to do a lot of things. But no one's going to say at my funeral she could do a lot of things. So I've had to really try and reset and relearn since February the 14th. And I'm really grateful to have that opportunity at my age, particularly with an executive, particularly my boss, who really wants me to succeed. And sometimes in Australia, we're not really very good at really wanting someone in your work to succeed. As I've got older, my new definition of feminism is women who are kind to other women. And what I mean by that is that you are trying to give our sisters an opportunity at every moment, whether that be the girl in the local milk bar that may have screwed up your water but you're kind, or the girl at work that needs some coaching on something. There's or forgiving girlfriends without actually having to go through a process.
What about people who let you down, people who systematically always let you down, and friends or social circle? I once heard a line that life's too short for useless acquaintances. Have you, some people clean out their closets, but also their circle of friends. Have you ever done that? Has anybody ever let you down?
I think one of the things I've regretted in my life is that I have dwelled too much on, certain friendships that maybe haven't worked. And what I maybe should have just done is enjoyed them from a distance, but recognised that maybe I'm just not their cup of tea, and I've wasted so much time. I remember one marathon, I'm very slow at marathon running. Normally when I finish, there's no apples at the end, it's a slow process. And I remember thinking at the end of it, I've wasted 4.5 hours thinking of a relationship, a poor relationship I was having with somebody, a friend, and I should have actually been thinking about how lucky I was to be running, and I wasted that time. So I have wasted a lot of time. So I haven't really done a clean out of the closet as such, but I have started to make myself more available to the friends that I really want to be around.
Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? A lady of such, I always see life as a pyramid. There's she's at the top of the pyramid, but so humble and so helping. After the break, Katie's going to tell us about her love for female football and some of the people she's been helping over the years. We'll be back very shortly. Thank you very much for watching, and love and best wishes to you if you're going through some difficult issues, or even if you're not, I'm sitting here with a very special lady, Katie Bentley, and, she's got a lot of titles, but most of all, she's a very beautiful and special human being. Some people base their worth or their self-esteem on titles, and when they lose them, they hit rock bottom. But, Katie's the CEO of a large company, Trident. She's a wonderful mother of 4. She runs marathons, she meditates, and she just gets life. She's been through difficult times like everyone else, but she's got a good formula on how to get through those tough times. And Katie, that's one last thing. I saw her at some of the Brighton lunches, great speaker, and people just love you, don't they? You're always a source of joy. It's not very often I've seen you down.
Look, there's always moments, and certainly not everyone loves me. I'm not a vanilla person, so people either, really like you or they really don't, which is absolutely fine. Sometimes, you make some choices, whether you're going to kind of stand up on the stage or be in the audience, and if you choose to stand up on the stage, then there's always going to be people that, you're just not their cup of tea. It's taken me a long time.
No, I think everybody loved you. I remember one lunch, one Brighton. Might have been charity day, but you were hosting everybody. There was lots of people there, and then you walked the room, and I think you spoke to almost every person on every table. And I thought, wow, this woman's on fire. And then I went for a quick neck oil at the Half Moon there, and you were there walking the room, and you just flowed through like God, And I thought, where does the energy come from? It's amazing. And tell me about football. You recently started playing football?
I did. I joined the Melbourne Masters in November 2018. I've never played football before in my life. And I did it through watching the prelim final and seeing the boys, hug and sing the anthem. And so just went and joined. And I'm not a very good footballer.
You kicked a goal? Plenty.
No, I haven't kicked plenty of goals. I nearly kicked one once. I celebrated like I'd kicked a goal, but I didn't actually get there. But footy has been one of the most joyful moments of my whole life. And I can't believe that I've been lucky enough to have something in my life at that age. I was welcomed by a group of women, different sexuality, different socioeconomic, who actually really wanted me to be there, even though I couldn't really do anything. We were all part of this jigsaw, and every piece had its place, and it was extraordinary. Whenever I think about it, I still get goosebumps. I'm very invested in the matches. I take it extremely seriously. But that's all part of the process of, I think, being part of a team. And I love the fact that I'm not the boss, and also love the fact that I'm not really good at it. So no one really expects anything from me. Maybe there's another layer of that I give the team in different ways.
Oh, well, I think you do, and rumour has it from, as they say in the course, from information received, we hear that not only she loved the game, but she inspires a lot of the people in her football team. They call her Rolls, and they say she's a beautiful team member and a beautiful mate. Rolls.
That's it. That is my nickname, Rolls.
Yeah. But I remember you recently went to the commission flats there, and you visit people and you hang out with them. I mean, not them, your friends, your mates, your teammates.
They're some of the truest friends I've ever met.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether it's part of football culture or whether I've just got really lucky with this group. But even the other girls I play with, we are just so joyful and grateful to be there. I think we also think we're doing something really quite extraordinary. We're 50, we've never kicked a ball. We're doing something fairly physical, slight danger, and we're doing something for maybe women behind us.
It's amazing, but folks, I really think in recent years we've really turned into a selfish, hate-filled, and busy society. Everywhere you go, before COVID, are you busy? Are you busy? Are you busy? And I used to hate people coming up saying busy, but and many people just wake up and it's all about them and their bills and their relationships and their agenda. But Katie Bentley really goes out of her way to spend time with people, help people, and that's a beautiful quality. You get up and it's not just about Katie Bentley; it's about others, which is so special.
Oh, thank you, Michael. I really appreciate that. All of our society to say, well, okay, we've been looking inward for a long time now. It's really time to start being kind to other people, and I need to do that. There's certain relationships in my life that I haven't been kind. Sometimes it all starts within your circle. It's not always about a $300 lunch. Sometimes it's just about being kind to the person in the street, or kind to one of the mums at school that drives you crazy. Whatever it might be. Sometimes it's the little things. It's always the pennies, not the pounds, in life that make the difference. It's the small things you do. And
forgiveness is important too, isn't it?
Forgiveness is really important.
Yeah.
Forgiveness in life and true forgiveness.
Yeah.
In sport, and in business.
Yeah.
So I've screwed up a lot of times, many, many times in my life. When I was first started working for Spirit, in February this year, I did a big screw up, but they forgave me. It took me a month or two to find my feet again, but they forgave me and wanted me to go forward. They're
beautiful little learning lessons along the way, aren't they? And for people watching Katie Bentley who are really down, and it might be a combination of stressors or mental health, but they just don't want to go through life anymore. Some people think ending their life. They're lonely at home, might have been a marriage breakup, might have been they've gone bankrupt, or they're just feeling shit about themselves, and it's hard to get any inspiration. What's your advice to start enjoying life again, and maybe not immediately, but slowly to get some sort of sense of contentment again?
Well, sometimes I think it would almost be flippant for me to say anything like that, because I'm very lucky in life. I can afford, food, clothes, a holiday every year. But I think that it's actually up to the community to be kind to those people, because sometimes they just cannot bring themselves out of their hole, and that's where it comes
so
to.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what I think is maybe.
You're so right. Because we're a very judgmental society.
That's
Katie
right.
Bentley, I'd love to sit and talk to you here for a long weekend, and have champagne and lots of liqueurs, but it's a beautiful life journey, and thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Michael.
For sharing, it's beautiful, and thank you very much for watching. What a lovely lady, and you are lovely too. Love and best wishes. We'll see you next week. Good night.